I would have agreed. A year or two of work first, of course, to get a sample of freedom, but then the next natural, obvious next step for me was holy matrimony. I come from a deeply conservative family. I am my parents' only daughter and the eldest girl on my father's side. My mother was made to get married at 20 and wasn't allowed to complete the last 2 terms of her final year of graduation. Similarly, my father's 4 siblings and my mother's 7 had all entered into arranged marriages in their early to mid-20s. That's 13 marriages and 0 divorces. My eldest aunt bragged to me as she asked for my biodata, which would be forwarded instantly to a local matchmaker. What if I want a love marriage? I remember asking at 20 as I sat frazzled between questions of height and weight on the one hand and business school applications on the other. My aunt was quick to interject. All this love shove is only a thing in the movies. And we go to the movies to escape. It is not reality. Your father is anyway letting you study more than normal levels. You should understand that you won't get to be so picky if you waste any more years. And by chance, if you happen to like someone, bring him to us. Then we'll do a love come arranged if the matter looks all right. You have that freedom too. But always keep in mind what happened to our girl who fell in love and got married. My female cousin had infamously fallen prey to the devil that is love. But her rebellion had been excused because, at least, the boy belonged to the same caste as us. Over the years, her marriage has, for various reasons, been very rocky and the subject of several hostile dinner table conversations. I've known this truth since I was a child, so I knew that my whole family expected my parents to find me a man from our community, matched to the finest knots and threads of subcaste and gotra, whom I'd marry at 25. We'd have our first child by the time I turned 27. This idea of permanence and stability loomed large not only in terms of partnership, but also in the areas of work and home. My father, for example, had spent the last 41 years of his life going to the same shop and has lived in the same home for over 50. He jeers at the idea of frequently changing jobs and often mocks my friends for constantly moving cities, saying, "It really angers me that you people don't stay committed and are never satisfied." And as for love, it was allowed to exist, only as long as it stayed boxed within the echoes of the Hindi love songs my dad and I sang together. I was so certain that this would be the flowchart of my future, that when, at 24, I went on my first solo European holiday, I titled my Facebook album, Ja Simran, Ji Le Apni Zindagi. Go Simran, I let you live your life, referencing the Amrish Puri line from the movie that was the epitome of romance for an entire generation, Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. A line that explains the sense of control and feeling of entitlement that conservative parents have with regard to their children's ideas of freedom. The only way I would be allowed to have a say in these matters was if I found a well-to-do Sindhi boy to marry. In a couple of years, as my first grey hair began to show, the Sindhi filter was dropped and replaced with upper-class Hindu. Basically, my family had set out to buy a first-class AC ticket for me, but eventually would be okay even if a third AC middle berth came by. I'll admit it, I bought into this life plan too. I didn't see why I shouldn't settle down. Like most girls in my college, I was convinced that arranged marriages were a regressive sham, and the adventure of life was to find love. Hence, once the mechanics of school and work were in order,